Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Bestie Bites by Small Business Bestie. And today I'm so incredibly excited because I have a woman here that I know is going to bring us all a ton of value. She's incredibly intelligent. I already know from following her on social media. So today I've got with me Peg Fitzpatrick. And Peg, I'm going to throw it to you. Tell us all about what you do.
Well, first, I love the name of your show. I love what you do. It's so awesome, so cute. And I feel like it makes it approachable for people because small business owners, it's hard when you're a small business owner. So you need a bestie. I love
We need
it.
a lot of bits of besties, yeah.
We do. We need a bestie community. It's totally true. So I'm Peg Fitzpatrick. I have been a social media strategist for 14 or 15 years. I was head of social strategy for Canva when they were a little baby startup. Now they're huge and everybody knows who they are. So I have done all different kinds of things. I've worked with big companies like Audi and Motorola, and I've been a brand ambassador for Kimpton Hotels, and there's other brands that I'm like the secret weapon. They don't like to say like that I worked with them. They like to keep it a secret. And I love you if you're listening to all my little secret people. I wrote that on my website, and then other people email me like, "I also want you to be a secret weapon." I'm like, "Okay." I
Oh,
don't
that's
take,
awesome.
yeah, I don't take clients anymore, but back when I did.
Wow. Okay. So I'm like, first of all, I'm just floored that you would even reach out to me because I never would have thought that someone with as much experience and as much wisdom would even consider. So thank you so much. But I want to just jump right into it because I think that you probably do have so much knowledge to share with us. I don't want to waste our time. So, when we were exchanging emails, kind of thinking through like what could we talk about, one of the things that really struck me that I think would be really important for the audience of Small Business Bestie is how to attract local customers to your business. So I know that we all kind of like are throwing spaghetti at the wall constantly, trying to figure out what the heck we're doing. So you have the secret sauce for our messy spaghetti, it sounds like.
Well, number one, spaghetti stain, so don't throw it at white things.
Okay.
Um, so I think one place that's really great to start for small businesses for local marketing is Google My Business. Get your Google profile set up. Make sure that you have it really optimized and then send it to someone else to look at it to make sure that it looks really good. Add a lot of really good photos of your business and then just write the hours that you're open. It's really basic stuff like that that gets overlooked. And it's frustrating when people are looking for somebody local. And then the next part of that is you want to make sure in all of your website that you list your location and in your social media bio. So say for example, I live in Elm City. Like that's like the nickname of our city. So I would be like best Elm City boutique, or the region, the Monadnock region's best bakery, or, think of how people are going to find you. So if they're searching, a lot of times people are on their phone and they're like, they just want a bakery near them. Like, what's open right now that's near me? And they need to know and if you don't have that information on your website, which is stuff that should definitely be there, but when we're new and we're setting stuff up, we miss things. And that's really common. And it's fine if you did. But just write a list for yourself saying, go to Google My Page. Did you already claim that? Number one, claim your page. Number two, fill everything out on there for people. And then really just think about everything else, like making sure you have the local aspect in there.
That's
I,
really good. I
it's
think that the local aspect is something that I see a lot of not having the name of the town or even like, if you're a regional company, like nobody knows how to find you. They don't really understand where you are unless they scroll
right.
all the way to the bottom in the footer.
And you know what? Put your phone number on your Instagram bio if you're a business. I hardly ever see people do that. And why not? Make it easy for people to call you. There's also a little button too where you can add the phone number where it'll say like call. If
Oh,
you're
yeah.
you should have a professional account. If you don't, that's number two. Make sure you have a professional account on all your social media stuff so you get all the extra little tools and analytics. But yeah, just think about when people are going to your profile that you're really letting them know that you are local. And then your about page lists all of the local stuff. And then when you're on your about page, give directions to your location. That is so helpful. You can embed a Google map, and then Google's like, oh, they're connected with us. We should show that to people. Google knows when you connect with them and link to them, and the easier you can make it. Don't you love when people give directions like go here, and just so you know, there's meters downtown. So we have this app for locally, like, or make sure you have change for parking. Like, just let people know what to expect. I saw an Instagram post earlier today that was like, if you're inviting me to something, don't make it a hot mess of parking because I'm not going to circle back. And like, it's true. We don't like the complication of like, it's hard to, if you have a little hard to find location, make sure you explain it. Say, go to this location, we're at the corner of this and this, and just right around the corner, we're right there. And then make sure that you tag your locations on your social media accounts too, because all of that helps build it up.
Okay. I want to circle back to one of the things that you said about Google My Business because
Hmm.
like I have an accounting company, a bookkeeping company, and we started out doing everything virtually. We didn't have a physical location. And
Right.
I don't know if you've ever tried to take pictures of bookkeeping, but it's not interesting to look at. So in situations like that, do you have any like tips or tricks of types of images that businesses should or should not add when they're in that kind of like weird virtual space?
That's a good question. I mean, you could do a picture of you. Accounting is hard. I mean, you could be like at your computer working. You could show computers. You could show calculators, things that
Yeah.
you know, and then just make it cute. Like we're doing the math that you don't want to do because most people don't want to do that.
Yeah, yeah. For a
So
while, we used the slogan, "We're not your dusty old accountants." And I had all pictures of me with like, frou-frou hair and big earrings and, all the things to prove like, hey, we're like young and hip and trendy. I mean,
yeah,
young, 41 young, but
you're young.
young.
You're young. Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I think it humanizes you. I'll give you an example, like where you think that it's very similar because there's an attorney that's online, and attorneys, you think they're like, how do you show attorneys? And a friend of mine online, his name is Mitch Jackson. He's an attorney in California. He does all kinds of stuff online, and I asked him one time, like, why is it worth it for your time? Because attorneys make a lot of money per hour. And he said
Mhm.
it's absolutely worth it to personalize me because people need to see me and know who I am when they're making those choices. Excuse me. So accounting is the same. You're young and you're hip and you're up on the tax laws,
Right.
It's that's your brand. And I don't think there's anything wrong with showing you in a, you know, whatever you want if you're going to wear because it's accounting, wear like, a blazer and still with a t-shirt. I mean, you don't have to, it's right. You got it. So yeah, I mean, I think that there are ways to do it. It's just maybe a little, some brands are really easy. If you're a florist, obviously you're showing your flowers and your cute little
Right.
shop and stuff like that. But I think you could do office photos and you could even do a branding shoot. Have you ever done a branding shoot with anybody?
Yeah, we did one in the early days
Mm-hmm.
with my husband and I, and we were, doing some work on the computer and we were drinking
Yeah.
coffee together and things like that. So, yeah,
Yeah,
we have a
that's
couple of those, but
Yeah, that's really all you need. I mean, I think a branding shoot like you did is a great idea for small business owners. If you're not familiar with what that is, you hire a local photographer that will help take photos of you because sometimes it's just hard to get like I have a hard time doing the B-roll thing when you're like setting a camera up of yourself to do accounting seems awkward.
yeah.
Right? Like, hi, here I
Yeah.
am doing, well, I can't show you what it is because it's confidential.
Right, exactly.
You're like,
Exactly.
but you could also make a joke of that, saying like,
Right.
we can't show you this because it's confidential,
Yeah,
but
it's a picture, but it's all just blurred out.
yeah, like the
Like, do
black
this
lines,
is what good work we do. Look at this report we generated, and it's all just blurred.
blank, because you
Yeah.
can't see
Oh, I
it.
love that. That's
Um,
genius.
yeah.
So, I want to ask one more question. You're talking about, when you personalize, your brand by showing photos of yourself. That's kind of the same as the old adage of like people buy from people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I know that a lot of business owners that I've worked with in the past have had kind of a problem with like, I don't want to be the face of my business because what if I
Right.
sell my business?
Right.
Then what happens? So do you
Mm-hmm.
have like do you in your experience have those businesses if they do have like the face of the business is the owner and then they sell, Have you had any experience where businesses just tank after that? Like, oh, that person left, so we're done.
No, I mean, if you were going to do that and you were the face of the brand, number one, if you're really not comfortable being the face of your brand, you don't have to be. You can do faceless marketing, they call it now, where, it's just not your face, it's you working, but it could even be from behind or from the side, like some kind of clever photography, which you can look on Pinterest for photo ideas for your brand. Like look for brand photo shoot ideas and you'll see all different kinds of stuff. And even guaranteed if you look for accounting, you'll see some. They might not be as cool as I think your brand is, though. So they might be really, you don't want the stodgy, stock photo of the office people being like, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But I think you don't have to be the face if you're really not comfortable with it. Like I said, do like the faceless method, which you can look that up. There's a lot of people that teach how to do that now. But also, if you were the face of the company and you were selling it, you would introduce the new person. I think there would be a process of like handing over the key kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think you could just
Oh,
say like, so, we're retiring. That like there's a little local cafe and they're retiring. They worked in food services for like 34 years. They were like, we're tired, we're retiring. Like just do a little post saying, our time is up, in this location, but we have sold this to these new people and they're keeping our recipes and that, they're looking forward to meeting you. Like I feel like there's a way to like introduce the new people where it
yeah.
would work.
Yeah.
Everybody deserves to retire or sell if they can, right?
For sure. Hopefully sooner rather than later sometimes. Okay, so I feel like I kinda caught you off there. I was like, "Let's back up a little," but, do you remember, like, the next tip you were gonna
Ooh.
give?
Oh, I was going to say Yelp next because I know small
Oh,
business owners are petrified of Yelp reviews and if they're bad. But the thing is, if your business is on Yelp, you have to be there too. So it's really not a lot of hard work, but similar to Google, you go and you claim your Yelp page because someone else could if you don't. So you claim your Yelp page, search for your business. And then again, you just, make sure there's a good logo and you can add photos of your location if you are a physical location. And then, you want to make sure you have notifications on. I don't always say this for things, but if somebody's leaving you a review, I feel like that's something that you need to know about. So turn notifications on so you get an email for that. And if you happen to get a review that is not great, please respond to it very kindly and get it answer publicly, but then respond to them privately. So answer publicly and say, we're very sorry that you had a bad experience. Can you please, call and ask for, blah, 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 or give us, send us a message with your email. We want to talk to you immediately. You always have to answer publicly though. Don't just leave things hanging. But then in private, send them an email and make it right for people. And a lot of times that will fix it. So if people have a bad something happen and they feel strong enough about it that they're going to go write a review, obviously they had feelings about that something, right?
right.
So you can't ignore it. You just need to go and take care of it. And then the good vibes that you get from that will be so much better than than the negative review. Um,
Absolutely.
you know, just even like customer service policies, like BarkBox. Do you know the brand BarkBox?
Yeah.
I love BarkBox. They're so awesome. And we had BarkBox for years with our golden retriever and then he passed away. And I needed to stop I needed to stop the subscription because I did not want to get that box and,
Yeah.
not have my dog there, like all the feelings that you get from it. They were so nice. They immediately canceled it without a problem. And they sent me a handwritten note from a whole bunch of people on their staff, like with condolences. That's way above and beyond.
Way above and beyond. That
And
is
and
so
I was
sweet.
canceling, so I wasn't a customer anymore. But now I have other dogs. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
but like the feelings that I had from that. I mean, it's a very obviously we love our pets so much. So every dog owners or cat owners, whoever you are, like we know we have a lot of feelings when our pets pass away, and they were so above and beyond about it. It always brings me good vibe when I think about them. I think about, yes, my dog, how excited he was to always get his toys and how much
Aw.
he loved them all, but also how great that company was to work with. that instead of, so many online things are hard to cancel your subscription, right?
Right. I'm surprised they weren't like, we need proof, you
Nope.
know?
They were just like, we're so sorry to hear about it. And they immediately, I didn't get the next box. Like they immediately, there was no flaw in their system. And
Yeah,
again, that handwritten note was signed by a whole bunch of people in the office. It was very thoughtful.
absolutely.
And
Yeah, I
they're a
love
big
that.
company,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and that's like a big corporate company like that. Like you
mhm,
would think, would have less meaningful service standards, like,
right.
oh, well, we lost a customer. What does that do to our bottom line? You know?
Right. So
So
I think those kind of touches mean a lot to people.
absolutely.
Whatever your industry is, there's ways that you can reach out to people and make something, like dry cleaners. I work in the dry cleaning industry. If you know that somebody's bringing stuff in and it's for a funeral because you saw it in the newspaper and their dry cleaners really know their customers. They know their names and they know their
Mhm.
families. Don't charge them for that. Like just give it to them and say, we're very like write a note on it and say we're very sorry to hear about your mom. Like
Absolutely.
that does mean a lot to people.
Yeah. We owned a spa back in Oklahoma,
Mm,
and the first visit from every client got a handwritten note from their technician, whether it was facial, massage, whatever. And then if there was ever like a key event in anyone's life that we picked up on, births, deaths, marriages, birthdays, any of those things, then we would do that also. Another thing that we did at the spot was, our system was really smart, the CRM. It would tell us if it was the week of someone's birthday, it would pop up a little icon on their appointment, and there was a bakery down the street. So we would
nice.
bring a cupcake, and have for them at checkout if it was their birthday week. And I don't know how many five-star reviews we got from people sitting in the parking lot holding their cupcake or taking a picture
Hmm.
of their cupcake. They were like, "Oh my
It's so
gosh, it was."
thoughtful.
Yeah, and I think to your point, those little touches,
Hmm.
it didn't take, 250 for a cupcake, but
Hmm.
it really set us apart in the customer's eyes. So I think you're absolutely right. Any way that you can find those little ways to be special and to be considerate of your clients is absolutely worth it.
And it doesn't all have to be on social media. A lot of things are offline. I actually, for the company that I work for, it's a large chemical company. When we have new customers, I write a handwritten note to them and just say thanks for choosing us because they
Yeah,
have choices. And I feel like those touches do mean a lot now. And customer service is taking a nosedive everywhere.
everywhere. Yeah.
Especially after the pandemic. It's just I don't think we'll ever get to the levels that we used to be. Now you talk to bots or it's hard to even get through on the phone. So when you get a person, it's like, oh, thank goodness. I can get
Yes,
help. Although some of the bots are very good and helpful.
they are.
Some of them are. If they're set up right, they can be super helpful. But yeah, never discount the fact that you could do something small for someone and have it mean a lot. I mean, you have no idea, like, if that person's like all alone and that's the only birthday wish they got for the week, or, you know, you just don't know. Maybe they're
You
going
never
through a
know.
divorce or, you know, just something like small gestures do mean a lot to people.
Yeah, they really do. Oh, that got me thinking about all the things that like, all the ways that I'm dropping the ball on my customers
No, I
because of,
bet you're
like
not.
in an accounting company, it's like, I don't know, I can, an anniversary, thanks for sticking with us another year, but like there's so many other ways that I could just be thoughtful. So thanks for that reminder. I needed that today.
I think that's still part of marketing, in my opinion. I feel like all of those things are marketing. All the small touches are something that makes it special. Kimpton Hotels is another one. Have you ever stayed at a Kimpton?
I haven't.
Okay, so they used to be an independent hotel chain and now they were bought by a bigger company. And I'm not sure if they still do all the things that they used to do. But when you stay at a Kimpton, they would go look at your social media and they would like print out a photo of your family and have it in your room. Or they would like have treats that they know that you like, or they just did really special stuff. If you were lonely,
Wow.
they have a goldfish at the desk and you could have the goldfish in your room. or a plant. So you could choose to have like extra, but they always write you a note and they always do some special thing like that, whether it's like a special dessert that they bring. If you're celebrating something, there's like champagne there, or but really like the photos and the special little things. I mean,
Mm.
it means a lot.
Yeah, that's really sweet. I stayed at an Airbnb in Denver this last weekend with my sister on a little trip, and I was blown away because we walked into a handwritten note welcoming
Mm,
us and letting us know that if we needed anything, that we could buzz them. They were, just across the street, and they had fresh baked chocolate chip cookies waiting for us.
nice.
But more than that was the quality of the touches inside the space were just
Hmm.
so much better than most Airbnbs that I've been to. It was like they weren't skimping, if you will,
Yeah.
even
Yep.
down to like the type of air diffuser that they were using. It smelled so good. I texted and was like, "What is that smell in here?" And she sent me a photo of it and told me where to get it, and I was like, "Who does that?" So
Yeah, I think
yeah.
Airbnb hosts are definitely the good ones have stepped it up and they have like a book with like local things that you can
Yep.
go do and
Uh-huh.
yeah,
And
it's
being in Denver, they had like kind of a little library of like Denver sightseeing and like cool
nice.
things. It wasn't just like a binder, it was like actual published books. So it was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
We could all learn something from the good Airbnb hosts.
Yeah, we won't talk about the bad ones.
No, no, we won't.
That's see, and it just shows you though, like Airbnb can mean two different things to you, right? Like if you have a
Yeah.
bad experience or if you have a really good one, you're like,
Yeah.
this house is amazing. Sometimes you're like, I definitely want to go back and stay at that house again. Like
Absolutely. Yeah. If I go back to Denver, that's where I'm going.
right.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. Anything else that you feel like you could leave us with before we jump off?
Just make sure, I haven't talked about this yet, with your local marketing, make sure that you're tagging your location on your posts. So if you're like posting an Instagram post or a Facebook post, you can tag the location and you can use hashtags for your local town or like for your business, but also your town and your region and your state depending on where you are. So just look up, like do a little hashtag research. Go into Instagram and type in because sometimes it's not always just the city name. Like Rochester, New York, they go by just Rock sometimes, ROC, and they'll do like different versions of it, which is fun because there's also a lot of Rochesters around in the country. But
Yeah.
but they do ROC, and so they'll do like, ROC Museum and Science Center or like so just
Mhm.
check what people use locally and just make sure that you tag your locations and that you talk about your location in all of your marketing so it just helps with all of the search. So the more you talk about being a, Elm City accountant, in the Monadnock region, it just reinforces to people that you're local, where you are, let people know, where they can find you, make it easy for people to contact you. Just go through your profiles and make sure that it's very clear how they can email you, how they can call you, and what your website what is, because I feel that the basics do just like I said, sometimes we set it up first and then we never go back. And you think people are going to know, well, they know I'm, this, but just make it easy for people to find you. That's the biggest key and reinforce it everywhere on your, on your website, in your text, on your social posts and things that you share in your emails.
Okay. So, okay, last question, I swear. I'm a curious person. So, when you're using your location on your website, like you're
Mhm.
trying to mention, what city you're in multiple times on the pages and all of that, is there kind of like like where's the balance for like having it mentioned enough that
You
it's
don't
gonna
have to
pick
do it.
up?
You don't have to keyword stuff it, but like three times.
Okay.
One or two is even fine. If you do it in like a H2 tag, like a header on your website, that's best. So just put like, you know, it
Mhm.
doesn't have to be multiple times. It depending
Okay.
on the
Okay.
length of the text. If it's pretty short amount of text, then just in the header and maybe somewhere down in the bottom. So you're not putting in an overly huge amount of times, but it's just that you're kind of sprinkling it everywhere just to make sure that you're reminding people because you think that people are going to remember, but we all see tons of information every day. So they might forget. And even with the algorithms, if they follow you, that doesn't mean that they'll see your stuff unless they're, you know, if they've hit that little favorite star, which I don't know if anybody does that anymore, but
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just reminding people.
Okay. So tell us about your big news that's coming up.
Ooh, yay, it's behind me.
Yay!
My second book is coming out, The Art of Small Business Social Media, A Blueprint for Marketing Success. It's on pre-order right now. It will be out November 19th. It's on sale everywhere that you like to buy your books. So it's literally just beginning to end for small businesses on how to do everything from like how to create a brand, what is a brand online, and it just goes through all of it, like all of the branding pieces, talks about Canva, and it talks about like how to create your strategy and then how to create content. So it's in three separate sections. It's very easy to read. And I've been doing this for a really long time. And I was in education before I worked in social media. So that's my background, is teaching people things. So it's very like very nicely laid out, very easy to use, not stressful, and it's not going to tell you that you need to post a million times a week or anything. It's like it's really for small business owners who don't have a lot of money or time. It's how to do it so you can still build a social presence and grow your business.
Perfect. Well, I've already pre-ordered my copy. I
Thank
can't
you.
wait. And I I know that I'm gonna go ahead and like tag everything, but obviously you're on social, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a website?
Yep. PegFitzpatrick.com. I'm Peg Fitzpatrick all over on social media, but my website is PegFitzpatrick.com. And if there's a little book um, tab at the top, and it has all the information there if you want more information.
Awesome. Well, Peg, thank you so much. This has been so much fun. Not only because I got to record a podcast, but you seem like a genuinely nice person. I hope that our paths actually cross in person someday.
That would
So,
be amazing.
yeah, thank you so much for sharing all of your wisdom with us, and we will talk at you guys later.
Thank you so much.